Last week, a retired couple walked into my shop with a printed-out listing for a 2019 GMC Yukon Denali. Leather seats, chrome everywhere, 78,000 miles, and an asking price of $42,000. They wanted me to tell them it was worth it. Instead, I showed them 3 trucks on my phone that look almost identical to vehicles costing $60,000 to $80,000, ride like living room recliners, and every single one was listed under $10,000. The wife looked at her husband and said, "Why did you not find these?" He did not find them because the entire market forgot they exist. These are not beaters, these are not fixer-uppers. These are luxury-trimmed, body-on-frame 4x4s that were specifically built for buyers who wanted comfort, quiet cabins, and premium finishes, and they are sitting on lots right now collecting dust because the badges on the hood went extinct. Today, I am counting down 3 of them, starting at number 3 and going deepest on number 1, because number 1 might be the single best-kept secret in the entire used truck market for anyone over 55. Let us get into it. Number 3, the GMC Envoy Denali. If you have ever looked at a GMC Yukon Denali at a dealer and thought you love everything about that truck except the $75,000 price tag, this is your vehicle. The GMC Envoy Denali was GMC's way of bringing the Denali experience down to a midsize SUV, and the market has completely forgotten it exists. I had a customer 2 years ago, a retired postal worker, 67 years old, bad knees, bad back. He needed something he could step into without climbing, something that rode smooth on his 40-minute drive to his fishing spot every weekend. He was looking at a 2016 Tahoe for $28,000. I asked him one question: "Have you ever heard of the Envoy Denali?" He gave me a blank stare. I found him a 2008 Envoy Denali 4x4 with 94,000 miles for $6,800. Chrome honeycomb grille, heated leather seats, 18-inch polished aluminum wheels, Bose sound system, and a 5.3-liter Vortec V8 under the hood, making 300 horsepower. When he pulled up to his fishing buddies that first weekend, 2 of them asked if he bought a new truck. He paid less than the sales tax on their vehicles. Here is what makes the Envoy Denali special mechanically. The Denali trim came standard with the 5.3-liter Vortec V8. This is the same engine family that powered millions of Silverados and Sierras. It is one of the most proven V8 engines General Motors has ever produced. Parts are everywhere. Every mechanic in the country knows how to work on it, and it will tow 6,600 pounds without breaking a sweat. But here is the detail that makes it perfect for seniors. The Envoy sits on a body-on-frame chassis with a 5-link rear suspension and AA arms up front. The ride is comfortable and controlled. It soaks up road imperfections before they reach the cabin. GMC spent serious money making this thing quiet inside. The ground clearance gives you a commanding driving position without requiring a stepladder to get in. When it was new, a loaded Envoy Denali 4-wheel drive had a manufacturer's suggested retail price between $38,000 and $42,000. Today, you can find clean examples from 2005 to 2009 for $3,000 to $8,000, depending on mileage and condition. Kelley Blue Book puts a 2009 Denali at around $6,500 in good condition. The Envoy earns a 4.5 out of 5 owner reliability rating, with 90% of owners recommending it. If you are shopping for one, here is my inspection checklist. First, listen for fan clutch noise. The electronically controlled fan clutch is the most common failure on these. If you hear what sounds like a jet engine at startup, that will be the fan clutch. The part costs about $100 to $150 and expect roughly 4 hours of labor. Not a deal breaker, but be prepared to negotiate. Second, check the transmission fluid. Some of these needed rebuilds around the 200,000-mile mark, which is respectable for any automatic transmission. If the fluid is dark or smells burnt, factor that into the price. Third, inspect the suspension up front. These are truck-based SUVs that often saw real road wear. Check for worn ball joints and tie rod ends. A full front-end refresh costs about $600 to $800, and it is money well spent. Fourth, check the interior condition. Because Denali trims attracted older, more careful owners, you can often find vehicles with pristine leather and fully functioning electronics. That is a good sign the vehicle was well maintained. Bottom line on the Envoy Denali: you are getting a V8-powered, body-on-frame, four-wheel drive luxury SUV with heated leather, chrome trim, and a ride quality that rivals vehicles 3 times its current price. It looks like a $50,000 truck, and it costs less than a decent set of golf clubs. But if you think the Envoy Denali is a good deal, this next one might make you angry at how cheap it is. The brand literally does not exist anymore, which means you are buying depreciation caused by a corporate death, not a mechanical flaw. Number 2, the Mercury Mountaineer Premier. Mercury died in 2011. Ford killed the brand, and every single Mercury on the road became an orphan overnight. That is the only reason a 2010 Mercury Mountaineer Premier with a V8, all-wheel drive, leather, navigation, and power-retracting running boards is sitting on a lot right now for $6,000 to $9,000. There is no other explanation. This truck is mechanically a Ford Explorer with a near Lincoln interior, and it is priced like nobody wants it. Here is the thing most people do not realize. The 4th-generation Mountaineer, produced from 2006 to 2010, is not just similar to the Ford Explorer. It is the same truck, same frame, same drivetrain, same engineering. But Mercury's version came with standard features that Ford charged extra for. The Premier trim loaded these things with heated leather seats, a premium audio system, chrome exterior accents, power-adjustable pedals, and that signature Mercury vertical bar grille that honestly makes it look more like a Lincoln Navigator than a mid-size SUV. The manufacturer suggested retail price when new was $32,000 to $39,000. The used market acts like these are worth $4,000 to $9,000 now, and that is a crime. Under the hood, you had 2 engine choices: the 4-liter single overhead cam V6, making 210 horsepower, or the 4.6-liter single overhead cam V8, making 292 horsepower. For seniors, I recommend the V6, and here is why. The 4-liter in these is a proven Ford engine that has been used across the Ranger, Explorer, and Mustang lineups for decades. It is not exciting, but it is dead reliable and easier on fuel. The V8 is great for towing, but if you are not pulling a boat, the V6 gives you everything you need with fewer maintenance headaches down the road. Now, here is why this truck is perfect for seniors specifically. Ford engineered the Mountaineer with an independent rear suspension, which gives it a car-like ride quality that body-on-frame competitors cannot match. It is smooth. It is quiet. Mercury added extra sound insulation throughout the cabin, and owners consistently describe the ride as being comparable to luxury vehicles costing twice as much. The power-adjustable pedals, available on certain trims, are a feature seniors love because they let you find the perfect driving position regardless of your height or leg length. Standard 3-row seating means the grandkids fit. The available power retracting running boards make entry and exit easy, without an ugly permanent step hanging off the side. Owner satisfaction on these is remarkably high. Kelley Blue Book gives the 2006 to 2010 generation a 4.7 out of 5 rating, with 95% of owners recommending it. Carfax data shows the 2010 Mountaineer has a 23% chance of needing a repair in any given year at an average cost of $280. That is identical to the segment average, despite the truck being significantly cheaper to purchase. For the inspection checklist on these, pay attention to 4 things. First, check the coolant system. Ford coolant in this era needed to be changed regularly. If the previous owner ignored it, the radiator can clog, leading to expensive cooling system work. Ask for maintenance records. Second, test the all-wheel drive system by driving in a tight circle on dry pavement. Any binding, grinding, or clunking means transfer case issues. Walk away or negotiate hard. Third, check the transmission behavior. There is a technical service bulletin on some models for shift quality issues. If it hesitates between gears or clunks during downshifts, it may need a reprogramming or valve body service. Fourth, inspect the running boards if equipped. The power retractable ones are great when they work, but the motors can seize. A non-functioning running board motor is about $350 per side. Who should buy the Mountaineer? If you want a truck that looks like you spent $40,000, but you actually spent $7,000, this is your vehicle. If you want Ford Explorer reliability with a more refined interior, this is the play. If you hate climbing into lifted trucks and want something with a civilized step in height, this delivers. Who should skip it? If you need genuine off-road capability, the Mountaineer's independent rear suspension is better on pavement than on trails. If you are paranoid about finding Mercury-specific parts, relax. Every single mechanical component is a Ford part. Any Ford dealer will service this truck. The only Mercury-specific pieces are cosmetic, like grille inserts and badges. But still, if that worries you, look elsewhere. All right, number 2 is done. If you are finding value in this kind of honest breakdown, hit subscribe. I have more videos coming on vehicles the market misprices and mechanics quietly buy for their own families. Now, number 1. This is the one I have been waiting to talk about. This is the truck I have personally recommended to more retirees than any other vehicle in the last decade, and every single one of them has come back and told me the same thing. Why does nobody know about this? Number 1. The Buick Rainier. Close your eyes and picture a Buick. You are probably thinking of a beige sedan parked at a golf course. Now picture a mid-size 4x4 SUV with a body-on-frame chassis, an available V8 engine, perforated leather seats, dark walnut dashboard trim, a load-leveling rear air suspension, Bose premium audio, and the quietest cabin GM has ever put in a mid-size truck. That is the Buick Rainier, and it might be the most forgotten luxury 4x4 ever built. You can buy one right now for $2,000 to $5,000. I am not making that up. The Rainier was produced from 2004 to 2007. Buick built it on the same GMT 360 platform as the Chevy Trailblazer and GMC Envoy, but then did something nobody expected. They threw every ounce of Buick's comfort expertise at it. Buick's engineers applied their proprietary quiet tuning process to the Rainier, adding sound insulation in the firewall, the floor pan, the headliner, and around the engine compartment. The result is a cabin so quiet that owners routinely say it feels like driving a Lexus. The standard engine was the 4.2-liter Vortec inline-six, the LL8, making 291 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. This engine won Ward's 10 Best Engines Award 4 years in a row, from 2002 through 2005. It is a dual overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder, all aluminum design with variable valve timing. GM tested these engines on dynamometers at wide-open throttle to 300,000 miles during development, and they were all still running strong at the end of the test. That is not marketing fluff. That is engineering validation data. For buyers who wanted more grunt, Buick offered the 5.3-liter Vortec V, 8 making 300 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque, which gave the Rainier a towing capacity of 6,700 pounds. That is enough to pull a decent-sized boat or travel trailer without stressing the drivetrain. Here is what makes the Rainier specifically perfect for seniors and why it is my #1 pick. The standard rear air suspension is the centerpiece. Every Rainier came with a load-leveling rear air suspension that Buick tuned for maximum ride quality. Unlike the coil springs on the Trailblazer and the standard Envoy, the Rainier's air springs keep the vehicle level regardless of cargo weight and deliver a noticeably smoother ride. Buick also used Bilstein front shock absorbers and 17-inch Michelin tires from the factory, which was a premium setup that competitors charged thousands extra for. The interior is where the Rainier earns its #1 spot for comfort. Standard perforated leather on the seats and door panels, dark burl walnut accents across the dash. Large, easy-to-read gauges with big rotary knobs for audio and climate. No confusing touchscreen nonsense, just straightforward, intuitive controls you can adjust without taking your eyes off the road. For anyone whose eyesight is not what it was at 30, or whose fingers do not work well on tiny touchscreens, this interior layout is a gift. The Rainier also came with a standard garage door opener, heated mirrors, an 8-way power driver's seat, and keyless entry. The Bose premium audio system was excellent, and because Buick attracted an older, more careful buyer demographic, the average used Rainier was treated like a baby. These trucks were garage-kept, oil-changed on schedule, and driven gently. Finding a low-mileage, single-owner Rainier with a perfect interior is not unusual. It is practically the norm. Let me give you the pricing math because it is absurd. A new Rainier with the V8, all-wheel drive, and every option had a sticker price of $38,000 to $43,000 in 2006. That is roughly $58,000 to $66,000 adjusted for inflation. Right now, KBB values a 2006 Rainier at about $2,000 to $3,000 in good condition. That is a 95% depreciation. You are buying $60,000 worth of engineering for the price of a used riding mower. For the inspection checklist, this is important because the Rainier does have a few known issues. First, check the air suspension. The rear airbags can develop leaks after 15 to 18 years. If the truck sits low in the rear, or you hear the compressor running constantly, budget $400 to $600 for new airbags and a compressor rebuild, or about $300 to convert to standard coil springs if you do not care about the air ride. Second, check all the dashboard gauges. The instrument cluster stepper motors on some 2004 to 2006 models can fail, causing gauges to read incorrectly. A rebuilt cluster is about $200 to $250. Third, Listen for fan clutch noise. The same platform has the same potential issue as the Envoy. An electronic fan clutch can get loud. The same fix costs about $150. Fourth, look at the overall condition and ownership history. A Rainier owned by a retiree with 80,000 miles is essentially a time capsule. A Rainier owned by someone who used it as a work truck and never changed the oil is a headache. The buyer profile matters enormously with these vehicles. Who should buy the Rainier? Any senior who wants the quietest, most comfortable ride possible in a body-on-frame 4x4 for under $5,000. Anyone who values simple, intuitive controls over complicated infotainment systems. Anyone smart enough to realize that Buick's engineering does not care what year it says on the title. Who should avoid it? If you need a third row, the Rainier is a 5-passenger SUV only. If you want modern safety tech like blind spot monitoring and automatic emergency braking, you will not find it here. And if you cannot handle people saying, "Wait, Buick made a truck at every gas station, this is not for you." But honestly, that question is the best part. Because when you tell them what you paid for it, they will not believe you. So there it is. 3 forgotten 4x4s that the market abandoned, but mechanics never stopped respecting. The GMC Envoy Denali, with its V8 power and Denali luxury, is available for under $8,000. The Mercury Mountaineer Premier gives you Ford reliability in a Lincoln-looking package for the price of a weekend getaway. And the Buick Rainier, the quietest, most comfortable body-on-frame 4x4 General Motors ever built, can sell for less than your monthly grocery bill. Every single one of these trucks was built for the kind of buyer who wanted comfort first, reliability second, and bragging rights never. That is exactly why they are cheap, and that is exactly why they are the smartest used truck buys on the market right now. You now know 3 4x4s you can buy for under $10,000 that look and feel like trucks, costing 8 times as much. Next time someone tells you that you need to spend $40,000 to get a comfortable, capable SUV, send them this video. If you want to see which SUV mechanics actually buy for their own families, I covered that right here. Like if this helped. Subscribe for more straight talk. Drive safe. Take care of your truck and it will take care of you. I will see you in the next one.